Alrighty then, so while I go through this and do setup, I will go through briefly and tell you what I'm doing here. So I am working on a small sign for a friend's house. It's very simple. It's about 6 by 12, and this sign is for their home. I mean, didn't get much more simple than that. What's so important about that is that the I want it to be unique, and that's hard because there's so much crap out there in, well, the universe. So just makes it hard to come up with unique stuff. Uh, so here's my idea: is to create this sign and have it carved around a map of the mountain range that they live close to. Sounds sketchy as fuck, but we're gonna give it a shot. So here we go. Uh, this is Carbide Create. Carbide Create is a program that lets me make files for CNC. I use several different programs, including Fusion 360. Um, but this is one that I like to use because it's very simple and it also lets me incorporate imagery into the things that I'm making. So it's like I said, it's very simple. I literally just go to design. I created a box here using this line up here, and just drew a bounding box. And then I used the text feature to write home. Very simple. Um, but now we need to do something different. We need a map, and that can get pretty tricky. But fortunately for us, there are different things that allow us to do that already made. So this is Terrain 2 STL, and Terrain 2 STL was designed so that we can do exactly that. We can look for terrain, and our terrain is in Virginia. So we'll zoom in on Virginia here, and our terrain is close to Shenandoah National Park, which is right there in the center. Uh, so we'll hit center to view. There we go. And you see the little red box there? That is our bounding box. So now we've hit center to view and selected that. And now we're going to go click on model details. Yay, model details. So this allows us to select the width, and we can make it as wide as we want. And we want it pretty wide because I want to get some terrain in there. We'll just go ahead and make it a full. And then we can make it high as well. So let's see if I can zoom out a little bit more. Go to location, center to view. Model details. Let's see. Whoops. We're going to do box scaling factor. We're going to zoom it up. Whoops. Way too much. There we go. That looks pretty good. And that will. They live over on this mountain range here. But Shenandoah is a very recognizable mountain range, so that's what we're going to go with. And then we need to make sure our vertical scaling is turned up. Then rotation degrees, everything looks pretty good. Water and base settings. So our base height determines how thick the bottom of the model will be. Like you can literally make this chug through your wood and like cut into the table of your CNC. So you should always give yourself some space, and I like to give myself just a little bit of space there. And then there's the instructions in case you don't understand mine. It is literally jhatch.com/terrain2, the number 2, STL in capital, slash. And now that I have my bounding box selected, we're going to hit generate model. And we're just going to wait for a few seconds and have a drink of coffee. There it is, that's already there. So we're going to hit download, and You see I have different ones already pre-downloaded, and that's because I had to play with the box size to find out what I liked. Uh, so we'll do Shen as our file name. Whoops. And we are going to, whoops. Yes, I would like to replace that. It'll download a zip file. I can take this and move it back out of the way and go find that file, which is pretty easy. We just click on our Explorer. There it is. We're going to extract it. And I'm going to extract it in the same place because I'm going to clear out the downloads file after all this stuff. But extract. I just said extract. Replace file in the destination. And I gave them all simple names because I got sick of sorting through them. Alright, so now that we have that done, we're going to go back to this, to Carbide. And here is our model. We're going to click on, well, everything. And then we're going to go to up on the upper left there and click on model. And this little group of funky looking pearls is what we're going to click on. Import image. And I'm going to click on our new file. And you'll notice that it's not there. The reason it's not there is because it is now a 3D file. And I think I can import that. Whoops, get out of here. Delete. We can also import those. Let's see if it'll work from here. Yep, there it is. And we're going to click open. And there is our mountain range. And we can stretch it a little bit to fill in the space. Alright. And we're going to show it in 3D, and the reason we show it in 3D is because sometimes it'll show in a relief, and that looks pretty good. We're also going to adjust the height because 0.1 is not all that noticeable, so we're going to make it about 0.32, and then we're going to hit apply so that we can see it. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good indeed. Indeed. And we're going to hit done. Show it in 3D. There it is. Alright. Hide 3D. The only thing is I don't like how that turned out. So we're going to have to do it a little bit different. And to do that, we just right click on it and hit delete. No problem. Okay. So we're going to select each individual thing and see if we can't, because we want everything to be inside of this and we want to machine around it because we want this to just sit on the top side of it. We're going to click on it again. There it is again. And it still wants to be in there. I sure do like it though. Gonna kill that. Delete. What happens if I don't select these? Alright. And that is the problem with this. I can get it nailed down and it doesn't want to do it right. What do we got? We're going to try to do it in post-processing. It'll be okay. So we're going to import our STL file. There's our raw model. We're going to drag it through. Okay, and here it is. It goes right through the M. It's going to look pretty cool. We're going to hit done. Wait. You have to do all your editing at this zone here. Dang it. And I do like that I can scale it. There we go. Alright. Make our height 0.32. By the way, so I know it's a funny measurement, 0.32. So between 0.32 and 0.45 are where the details actually show up pretty well without taking freaking years to cut. Because if you look at these, some of these are extremely like shallow. Now, and we can exaggerate. We could go all the way to 0.75, and you'll see that that looks even more exaggerated. And those mountains are pretty steep, but they're not. That's not it. So you have to fall in the middle of that, and 0.32 seems like it gets in there pretty good. So there it is again, 0.32. You can zoom in, and it looks more like the topographic map does, and not so crazily uh, like exaggerated. Alright, so we're going to hit done, and we're going to try to see if we can't do this in post-processing, and we'll do that here. So we will click on all of these, and we will 3D rough it. Use the current selection. We're not going to use that. We're going to use our, whoops, there it is, 1/4 inch end mill, so that it should go pretty quickly. And then this will do what we want it to do. It'll machine only inside of the border. We'll hit OK. And then we will go to 3D finish, and we will use the selected vectors as well. Edit that. We're going to use I could use an engraver. The 501, I think, is it? This will take forever, but it will be a lot of detail. So we'll hit OK, and it's going to take a little while to compute that, I think. Alright, and so here it is, and we're going to click select simulation or show simulation, and it's going to calculate toolpaths. So the Pro model is actually on the computer that sits out beside the CNC machine. I also hate how the E is about to turn out, but it is what it is, so we'll just have to deal with that. Alright, so we're going to look at it, and it looks a little chunky. So we're going to definitely have to adjust it, because we want the outside of that to be fine. Show simulation, turn toolpath off. And that sort of sucks, but you get the gist of what we're doing. I'll have to work on how to get that lettering right. But whenever you're applying a map STL file or a map OBJ file to anything that you're working on, this is the basic way that we do that. So I'm gonna call it here because this guy is messaging me about this stuff that I was interested in, and it looks like he has way more than he had thought, which is awesome because I freaking need the material. So I'm gonna call it here. But thanks for watching along, guys, and